allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr.
Here.
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Keach?
Here.
Administrator Jones?
Here. Request for modifications and approval of the agenda.
No modifications of the direct agenda, but little tweaks to item 4A and 4B content as was requested yesterday in work session.
Okay.
And we each have those new tweaks.
Move to approve the agenda. Second. Move to second discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for agenda items.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to make some comments about the marijuana. Is this a good time for that?
That'd be great.
Okay, great.
Would you mind just coming up to the podium?
My name is Tom Montgomery. I'm at 1281 Stanton Drive and Swim, and I'm here as a member of the Planning Commission. As we talked last week, and for Commissioner Chapman's benefit, I just wanted to go over the background and the support for the marijuana ordinance that's before you. We know from the 14 work sessions that we had and the 2 public hearings that we had that this ordinance, one, it was clear from the comments that we had over the 14-month period that people in residential areas did not want marijuana activity in their neighborhoods. And this draft before you prohibits that. It was also clear we received comments from marijuana producers and processors early on, and they expressed no objections to the course in which we were going. They made no requests that they be permitted to do things in residential areas. And so my conclusion is that what we've done, what's before you, is consistent with that part of the equation. And thirdly, the only comments really that we received during was just an occasional comment here or there by a citizen who would get up and remind us that federal law says something different from what we're doing now, and that for that reason, we really should shut down the project. So from all of those comments over such a long period of time, with our deliberations and yours too being well covered in the press, my own opinion is that we really have a very good feeling what the citizens of Clallam County want at this point regarding it, and I believe that it's in the draft before you. I just wanted to address one other issue, because I know from time to time there's been discussion among the 3 of you about the possibility of an advisory vote on this subject, and I wanted to give you my opinion that it would not be a good idea for 3 reasons. One, it's unnecessary for the reasons that I just described. I really think that we have a good sense of what the public wants. Secondly, what the public really wants right now is finality and certainty. And any discussion about a future advisory vote, whether it be binding or non-binding, just adds and extends to uncertainty. And I know very well that particularly residential people want certainty, want this put to bed. And then thirdly, and I don't mean to sound like an 8th grade civics lesson, but we are a representative democracy. And I would put forward that when people voted for you, each of the 3 of you, that they gave you authority and expected you to get into the nitty-gritty of zoning and uses within zones, and to do that on their behalf. And so I urge you to accept that responsibility and go forward with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick Downey, Deputy Mayor, City of Ordinance. Just wanted to say briefly, again, our thanks on behalf of the City of Ordinance that we are here at this point in time, and want to support the action that will be discussed and voted on, I think it's in the portion of the agenda called administration, regarding the warrants of the opportunity fund dollars to the city of Port Angeles and secondarily to the Port of Port Angeles. So, thank you, gentlemen. Glad we're here.
Anybody else? Seeing no one, consent agenda.
Thank you. Item 1A is approval of vouchers for the week of September 7th, and item 1B is approval of payroll for the period ending August 31st.
Move to approve the consent agenda. I'll second. Moved and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Reports and presentations. Commissioner Chapman.
1,200 people stopped by Forks last weekend. Lots of them stopped by Port Angeles as well. The celebration with Stephanie Meyer continues, actually, since that book was published. And I just want to say that the community did a great job of receiving them, as well as the state Supreme Court. And that was an outstanding display of how the legal system actually works. And I'm not sure if you realize they went out of their way to work with kids. All 9 members broke up and went to different schools throughout the peninsula and spent a half a day or so at each school. That was fantastic.
I suspect Justice Owens had something to do with this. It's a good thing. Administrator Jones.
Nothing for me.
And nothing from me. Contracts and agreements.
Item 2A is an agreement with the Olympic Personal Growth Center for chemical dependency treatment services, maximum amount of $158,000.
Move to approve the agreement. Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2B is an agreement with K&H Printers for services related to the 2015 general election, total amount $39,066.49.
Move to approve the contract. Second. Discussion.
Yesterday, we discussed that there had been a change with regard to the size of paper and the cost. Is that incorporated in the final?
Yes, that is the new amount that we were given yesterday by the auditor.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 2C is an agreement with James P. Reed and Sandra E. Reed, trustees, and James and Pamela Hardie for purchase of an easement for the Carlsborg sewer project. Cost amount is $500, as was relayed yesterday in work session.
Move to approve the agreement with James and Sandra Reed.
Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bids and awards.
Item 3A is a bid opening for the Dungeness Landing Piling Replacement Project.
We have 4 bids.
Bid from Carson Construction out of Mount Vernon, base bid $74,150, total bid $74,150. The bid bond is attached.
Have a bid from Nordland Construction, Nordland, Washington. Total bid of $67,500. Bid bond is attached.
A bid from Creek Brothers out of Aberdeen, base bid $44,899. and their bid bond is attached.
I've got a bid from Robbins. I'm going to clarify this thing, states that the consulting team, West Tech Company and Flutter Consulting, the letterhead is with Robbins, submitting a bid of $42,700, and the bond is attached, and I confirm that the bid is Robbins Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
Move to forward the bids to Public Works.
To go to you?
Joel. To the Parks Department, excuse me.
I'll second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Joel, you'll get back to us in due course.
I will, next Tuesday. Item 3D is bid award of the La Push Road HMA pavement overlay project to Lakeside Industries, Inc., and authorization for the chair to execute the contract in the amount of $426,867.
Move to approve the contract.
I'll second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Administration.
Item 4A is a resolution establishing an ad hoc trust lands advisory committee as discussed, and changes, minor changes made for yesterday's work session.
Move to approve establishing an ad hoc trust lands advisory committee.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2-1.
Item 4B is a notice of hearing to be held at 10:30 a.m. October 13th regarding an amendment to policy 220, classification, work hours, and compensation, all as was discussed yesterday in work session.
Move to proceed with the hearing.
I'll second. We do have a little different version here before us, I think.
Yeah, this changed from 2 weeks to 4 weeks before the official filing period on page 11.
So the action is to call for a hearing on the policy change. You moved, right?
I did.
And I seconded, so discussion, further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2-1, sorry.
Item 4C is an ordinance creating a chapter in the Clallam County Code titled Recreational Marijuana, establishing the placement of and development standards for recreational marijuana producers.
Move to approve the ordinance creating a chapter in the Clallam County Code titled Recreational Marijuana.
I'll second. Discussion?
May I say
Please,
something?
you bet.
You know, after you had talked about this being an artful piece of work, I went back and I pulled out my garnered art through the edges, because I thought, you know, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. And several of the items that I looked up in the introduction, art always proposes new solutions for complex problems, for contemporary problems. The province of art is the order of man's thought and the intensity or strength of his emotions or beliefs. I think each work of art is unique and an embodiment of the truth. It has form, and it is a reaction or response to a social, economic, or political issue. So, I mean, I really believe that. I really believe that this ordinance is an artful form. There's been a lot of protests from the citizens. The planning commission has been meeting after meeting after meeting. I think they're heroes. Steve and Kevin have worked diligently and deeply. And you know, when you don't have math, I love algebra because you can work a problem both ways. But when you don't have math, you need allegory, you need metaphor. You need analogies to help make decisions. And I believe this statement of yours about this being an artful piece of work is right on the spot. And you know, every artist knows when to put the last stroke on their painting or chisel the last piece of, stone off their sculpture. And an author knows when to put the last period on that manuscript. So I'll just go back and I'll say, I believe this ordinance, through all it's been through, really is a piece of art. It is an awful piece of work. So I just wanted to.
I didn't know the literary background of that term, but I compliment, as I have before your office, Mary Ellen, and you personally, and of course the Planning Commission. I think they've done a lot of heavy lifting, and we have their product here before us today, sent to us by you, and I'm glad that we're at this point where we can prove this and move on. Further discussion?
I accept the responsibility for making the tough decisions, but it's actually the case that the tough decisions were made by the Planning Commission and your staff. And I followed this very carefully. And I'm convinced that it has been very thoroughly debated, thrashed out, and I commend you for the work that you've done. Thank you.
Okay. And we'll reserve for another day the question of a vote, either advisory in nature or in the nature of a referendum. But today we'll put the final stamp on this thing and get it done. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1.
Item 4D is approval of warrants for opportunity fund grants to the city of Port Angeles and the Port of Port Angeles, and you also have before you the typical voucher approvals for signature in the amount of $285,952 for the city of Port Angeles and $1 million for the Port of Port Angeles.
Move to approve the warrants for the Opportunity Fund grants to the City of Port Angeles and Port of Port Angeles, and issue those warrants immediately.
I'll second. Discussion. I've said all that I need to say on this point, I believe. It's good to be concluded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. Budget.
Item 5A is a notice that the following supplemental appropriations will be adopted by resolution on September 29th. Under Enhanced 911, additional funding from the Washington State Military Department Emergency Management Division in the amount of $46,600. Under General Fund Auditor, the Help America Vote Grant Act grant funding in the amount of $1,723. And under Superior Court Dispute Resolution, receipt of surcharge fees on new case filings in the amount of $4,800. 5A is the supplemental appropriations.
Okay.
So move to approve the notice.
I will second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5B is a resolution calling for a hearing to be held at 10:30 a.m. on September 29th regarding the following debatable emergencies. Under Parks and Facilities, extra health expenses to cover medical leave for 2 employees, $17,469. And under Sheriff's Jail, $250,000 to purchase security cameras for the jail.
Move to approve the hearing.
Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. Public Works.
Item 6A is a resolution authorizing vacation of county right-of-way for portions of Squim, Dungeness Way, and 3 Crabs Road. All as was discussed yesterday in work session and the previous week in hearing. This is a conditional vacation approval.
Move to approve the resolution.
Second. Any discussion?
Appreciate the work you put into this, Ross. There's quite a bit of consultation, design, and a lot of moving parts.
They have been active participants and proponents of the project, which is a good one. So glad you're here, glad you're able to see us and move this along. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 2-1. No community development, no hearings, public comments, on anything in general. Sir.
Good morning. I made a walk at the new Esplanade extension from Oak Street to the Valley Creek estuary yesterday. I found it to be a very significant change to what was there previously. And I've stated my concerns about some of the artificial nature of it, but I'll wait for it to be developed. But a very interesting change. Lastly, I'll ask the question about the contract to Mr. Kitchell. From what I read in the work packet and what was published, the start date was September 1st. Is that accurate? Or is it something different as the meeting that authorized that contract was later? Thank you.
Thanks. Somebody will get back to you, Ken, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm Carol Johnson, Executive Director of the Northwest Timber Action Committee here in Port Angeles. I would like to thank the commissioners for proceeding with the Forest Advisory Committee. I think it will be an opportunity to inform the citizens of Clallam County about an asset that they have owned for many decades, and I don't think have fully understood the value of the asset and what it means to our county. As the sustained harvest calculation has come forth in its second 10-year decadal period, we have come to realize that there was a significant amount of timber attributed to Clallam County asset that was not harvested, and that money did not come to Clallam County, nor did the jobs that could have been created by that. So forming this advisory committee will help the citizens become informed about that asset. And I believe at the end of this process, the citizens then may have the opportunity to vote on whether we should ask to take back those timber trust lands or remain with the DNR as a management responsibility. But without that informed information, the general public does not understand what we are not getting. And I believe that this is going to be a great opportunity, not just for this county, but potentially other counties to realize the impact that that asset has to their individual counties. And I think it's long overdue, and I want to just thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing no one, lunch for the microphone. We have a Board of Health meeting this afternoon at 1:30 for the commission will be in attendance. The Thursday KONP that was originally scheduled has been moved a week later, I believe, as we discussed in work session. So there being no further business to come before the board, we'll adjourn the meeting today and continue until next week, Monday at 9 o'clock.